Hello again. Our next topic is about Canadian annexation to the United States. Most Canadians are possibly considering this in the back of their minds. However, people in Ottawa are resisting this because of their heritage, because of their loyalty to the British monarch, who does nothing. He's a constitutional monarch based on an Indian model. Continental monarchies actually do something. They rule over a single plot of land. For example, my favorite, the German Kaiser, of which our psychiatric medicine is based on. German personalities are considered psychiatric unhealthy. Okay? We talk and sound like a German guy from the First World War, an old Kaiser, old Prussian aristocrat. You are mentally deranged. Look at the old videos about Kaiser Wilhelm. Look at the old videos about Frederick the Great, the Große König, 1940. YouTube, all available now. Before it wasn't. You couldn't access this stuff unless you are part of a film industry. But most of the videos, movies made in the 60s, the Hollywood golden era, are based on this. German propaganda videos are the best. They are made exactly as they are. So the character portrayed in them are the actual historical figure. Paul Hartman plays Bismarck. It encapsulates the life of the great chancellor who helped Japan and China industrialize. That's why we're a superpower. The Germans helped us a lot. That's why they're called the Huns. We refuse to be colonized because the Germans helped us to stand up on our two legs. They're still called it. People still dislike the Germans. The Nazis. That came later. But anyhow, US annexation. Two ways. One, we could do it by force. It'd probably be by force because Canadians cannot make up their minds. Americans will come in swift aircraft, bombers, tanks, and landing craft in British Columbia. I love Americans. They don't care what they hit, unless they pull the trigger and blow the enemy up. I always think about them. They're reckless. Well, I really feel sorry about those two Korean teenagers that were crushed by some U.S. Army drivers, but that's another story. But Canada needs to be disciplined. We are a backward, immature country. We don't understand suffering in war. Our police forces only pick on weak people. They never seen a Mexican standoff and actually get fired down. There's no Waco, Texas, or the closest thing we have is the Mohawk standoff, which went away peacefully. But what happens if the Mohawk standoff went into a firefight? What would happen? The last time that happened was in 1812 when Canada's forces were under direct control by the British Army. We were able to repel the Americans in 1812. Well, that's before GPS satellites. The only thing we have is soldiers marching in line. But annexation will produce security benefits. One, we don't have to protect a long border. Two, we can share resources. Canada has a lot of natural resources like Russia that Nazi Germany were after during the Second World War. We have rich oil in Alberta, second to the Saudi Arabia. And we're not harnessing this natural resources. Americans can come up and harness it. Take the oil, pump it house, and do something about it. Create jobs. We can get rid of parasites. Investors coming to Canada don't help Canadians find jobs. Americans have a visa called the EB-5 visa. It allows investors to invest money in growing sectors to help Americans get to work. Life, liberty, happiness, The Articles of the Declaration of Independence. This country is a miserable gulag, a slave labor camp, where only the elite can have all the happiness and have a family and reproduce. Frankly, I call this country a zoo. Survival of the fittest. With some exception, we don't have guns. We can't shoot the pigs on top and get into power. But that's a Soviet understanding of ideas, of which Trudeau wanted to avoid in his version of a Sovietized Canada versus a British Canada. We may never know how a British Canada may have developed. The country was falling apart, so Trudeau had to make concessions and implement the multicultural plan to prevent Quebec from breaking apart. But this is all over. The game's gone. Our multicultural policy is causing most of the problems around the world. Four Nordic European countries have said multiculturalism has failed. The Muslims will not integrate because Islam is a totalitarian system. Very way medieval Christianity is a totalitarian system. They're incompatible. They cannot coexist in one zone. Here in Vancouver, the Asian communities will not integrate with the white communities. I don't see any white faces eating Chinese food in Aberdeen Center. I'm used to being bullied. Dumb communist people. Stupid farmers that don't know what they're doing because I'm not bred for this job. From the bullying, I learned to stand up for myself. You know what dictatorship, one tells the job of dictatorship, of becoming a shogun, a brutal leader. The Russians have a saying of, you can't hurt someone unless you learn to be hurt, but unless you're hurt yourself. I understand this completely, and these people have to pay. Okay, annexation. A lot of people will be deported. No problem. Asian countries are very rich now. They're becoming superpowers. It's not, and communism does still come back. Then we have our obligation to receive them as political asylums. But that's all. For now, they have to go. Frankly, I like to kick some of their asses in. I meet them every day on Sundays at church. They are selfish, they are narrow-minded, and they're Jewish. They are Pharisees. The only thing they care about is their money. They don't help the society a lot. They don't help 10 Americans or 10 poor Canadians get to work. Why not help open a wheat plantation? Get some bums to work. Help out Canada. They're not. They're feeding their own rice bowls like the Manchurians were during the turn of the century. Exactly like the Manchurians society. Chinese by blood? Bullcrap. I refuse to be Chinese. I don't believe in multiculturalism, but that's not the idea of the Republic. The idea of the Republic is to become westernized, white, at least Italian, between white and Nordic and black. I hope people can understand this message, that conservative Americans can still understand this whole idea of becoming white, that this is the point of the revolution. And how the Second World War turned out the way it is. The people who are preventing us from accomplishing this goal have to be removed, destroyed, firing squad, if possible. But that will need a sweeping change in Parliament, which is ineffective. Please watch my Facebook for more updates. Thank you for your attention. See you later. Wait up for my next video. Bye bye.